The Blackfoot.
How did they get their name?
They got their name from the color of their clothing they wore and the footwear they wore.
Who were the Blackfoot people?
They were 3 groups and they were called Siksika, the Kainai, and Pikuni. We learned that Onykus means milk, Mini means berry, Kwe means eggs, Simsa means drink or beverage, Siksikami means tea, Inan means banana, Isisiko means meat, and Apastana means apple.
Who was responsible for taking down the teepee and putting it up? How long did it take?
The women were responsible for taking it down and putting it up, and it only took 20 minutes or so.
What does nomadic mean?
It means that they traveled throughout the prairies following their herd or their food.
How was the teepee made?
The teepees were usually made of deerskin, buffalo, antelope, or moose hides. They used about 12 to 20 hides. Each teepee had 4 long pin poles at the top with an animal.
How did the buffalo help with the Blackfoot's cooking, traveling, clothing, and how did they have fun?
They used the stomach for cooking, they used the skin hides for clothing, they used the bones, marrow, and the dung for fuel traveling, and they used the bones and the sinew for having fun.
How do you think the arrival of horses changed the Blackfoot's travel, hunting, and other ways of life?
Having horses made it easier for them because when they were trying to get buffalo, they were faster, and when they went somewhere, it made it easier for them because it was faster.
How do you think the Blackfoot people felt when the Europeans continued to hunt and kill the buffalo, which was so important to their way of life?
I think the Blackfoot felt sad because the buffalo were so important to them because they used all of the parts.
What is pemmican? The meat from the buffalo was used to make into pemmican. Pemmican was made using large pieces of dried buffalo meat, which was pounded into a flour. This meat flour was mixed with buffalo fat and dried or crushed berries. They needed the buffalo for almost all their food. Were the Blackfoot people farmers? Why or why not? The Blackfoot ate a lot of buffalo meat because it was found all over the plains. The Blackfoot were not farmers. The only thing that they would grow for themselves was tobacco for their religions, ceremonies. They did not have flour or grains to survive. Why is dancing important to the Blackfoot people? It is so important to them because they believe that if a young man went into the wilderness, it would give them a vision or a dream that would protect them for their entire life. What was the most important type of dance called? The most important dance was the sun dance. What is a powwow? A powwow is a festival that lasts for 3 or 4 days and celebrate with many other First Nations. Do any of the dances have a legend about them? A young girl has a dream that she makes a special dress and helps to heal her people. By listening to her dream, she helps her people. The young girls wore a satin dress decorated with tin jingles. What did the Blackfoot natives use to decorate their clothing with? The Blackfoot were very artistic people. They often decorated their clothing with paint made from nature. They used iron to make a reddish color, and they used minerals to get the colors green, orange, purple, and yellow. The gallbladder of the buffalo was also used for the color yellow. What group of people liked the Blackfoot clothing? What types of things did they trade with the Blackfoot people? The Europeans liked their clothing. They traded fur for beads because it was very popular, and they loved it because the amazing artwork they did. What is a story robe? Story robes were used to keep track of history for many First Nations people. Usually the most important event of the year would have been drawn on the back of a buffalo hide. These stories were about important battles. Over time, the story robe would be like a journal for the Blackfoot people. Why is a story robe important? Usually the most important event of the year would have been drawn on the back of a buffalo hide. These stories were about important battles. Over time, the story robe would be like a journal for the Blackfoot people. Tell about a story robe you learned about after using the link provided. This story is about a chief calf and a party of 7 warriors. Once some riders who were out gathering their horses spotted some Cree on foot trying to chase off part of their herd. Chief Calf and his party wasted no time and pursued the intruders on their fast horses. They caught up to them at a lake, riding fast, shooting and yelling. The blood quickly killed 2 of the Cree. The other ran to another lake, pursued by Chief Calf. At the second lake, the Cree ran into the water, but Chief Calf followed him and stabbed him in the heart.